Oh, it really hurts. Can you help me?
I got you. So, first off, what's your name?
Forrest.
What's up, Forrest? I'm Matthew, and also on this team we have Andrea and we have Rowan. We're gonna get you all ready. First off, welcome to your first day of rehab. We're gonna get you all healed up. I heard you're trained for a road race, is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. So, obviously we know you're gonna need to be able to walk and run to do that. So we're gonna get you all nice rehab. If your back is new, nice strengthened, foot's all strengthened, and now your posterior tibialis is back to what it was. Let's get going.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and palpate the anatomical landmarks for you, Forrest. So first up, we have the medial malleolus. So that's gonna go ahead and be right here. It's gonna be the ball of the ankle, and this is connected to the posterior tibialis muscle because the posterior tibialis runs behind the medial malleolus and uses it sort of as like a pulley to add extra tension. And after that, we have the navicular tuberosity, which you can find right here. Just below the medial malleolus. And this is one of the primary insertions of the posterior tibialis muscle tendon, and the navicular tuberosity anchors the muscles for us. After that, we have the base of the first metatarsal, which can be found right here. And this is one of the secondary insertions of the posterior tibialis, and they extend toward the medial cuneiform, and these attachments help to distribute the force. After that, we have the tibia, which is right here, and more importantly, the medial border. So that's going to be right here. And this, as well as the fibula, which is found here, those go ahead and that's where the posterior tibialis originates from, so basically that's where it connects to the upper parts of your leg, and that's where it lets you connect to your whole body. From there, we're going to move on to the calcaneus, which is right here. And while the posterior tibialis doesn't directly insert on the calcaneus, the functions affect the calcaneus position and make sure that it remains like in line with the rest of the foot. After that, we have the Achilles tendon, which you can find here. And the Achilles tendon and posterior tibialis work together and balance the plantar flexion inversion forces just to make sure that the foot's actually going ahead and doing all its movements properly. So they work together hand in hand. After that, we have the longitudinal arch of the foot, which is right here. The longitudinal arch of the foot is what pretty much the tibialis.
Okay, the tibialis posterior muscle is mainly involved in plantar flexion and inversion of the foot. So the posterior tibialis tendon connects the posterior tibialis muscle to the bones of the foot, and it's mainly involved in the arch support. So we're going to look at the different muscles and bones that affect and is causing pain for Forrest while he's running. With dorsiflexion, that's going to involve the tibialis anterior, fibularis tertius, and the extensor digitorum longus and extensor hallucis longus, which is the greater toe, and the other one is the lesser toes. So extension for dorsiflexions kind of go hand in hand. And then eversion is going to involve the three fibularis muscles on the lateral aspect of the leg, the longus, brevis, and tertius, and extensor digitorum longus with the extension of the lesser toes as eversion. Then we're going to move into plantar flexion and toe flexion. So plantar flexion is going to be pointing. It's a little better if you stand up and do it real quick. Plantar flexion, pointing of the toes, is going to mainly involve the triceps muscles with the posterior tibialis, the gastrocnemius, and the soleus. And the inversion, you can stand. Inversion of the foot is going to involve the tibialis posterior, anterior, and the flexor digitorum longus. Now we're flexing the toes when we're inverting. When you go on one leg, you're mostly working those intrinsic small muscles of your arch and your posterior tibialis muscle. It's going to be very important while running to prevent flat feet. And then we're gonna go into controlled heel raises with both bilateral and single leg. So here he's doing single leg heel raises. That's gonna be mostly working those muscles, like I said, holding up the arch of the foot, posterior tibialis and anterior tibialis. And then with both heel raises, it's going to be the triceps muscles, gastrocnemius and soleus. Mainly in Forrest's case, he's going to be focusing on the single leg work because he has really weak posterior tibialis, causing that tendon pain. And then hopping back on, exaggerated pronation and supination. The pronation is going to be the ankle dorsiflexion, eversion of the foot, and forefoot abduction. And then supination is the other way, which is ankle plantar flexion, inversion, and adduction with your toe in. And those are the muscle actions for Forrest's case.
So first, we are gonna do resisted foot inversion with the band. So first you wanna wrap the foot around like the midfoot of your foot. And then next you want to start inverting your foot while also plantar flexing it, just like how Matthew is doing. And you should do this 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps. By doing so, this will help strengthen your tibialis posterior muscle. And you want to be controlled while you're doing it, so obviously like your foot isn't snapping back when you're bringing it back or when you're just doing the exercise in general. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to use a roller. You're going to use a roller, and you're going to place it under the calf muscle, and you're just going to roll it back and forth. Do this for like 1 to 2 minutes, 3 times. It's going to really stretch out your muscle and just help like loosen it. And then the last one we're going to do is calf raises. You turn around and you can use like this for support. You're just going to plantar flex your feet up and then go back down to neutral. And then just do that repeatedly. It's going to also help stretch out your calves and strengthen the posterior muscle and also improve ankle mobility. You could do 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, and yeah.
Up and down, up, down.